Hi everybody, my name's Glen and I'm going to tell you how to build muscle in 5 minutes. Let's go. So, how do we build muscle? When we think about building muscle, there's one thing that we really need to be thinking on, and that is what is going to create the stimulus in our body to have our body add more protein, to add more meat, to add more muscle to our body. And what the research comes down to is clear. It's three things. Number one, it's creating mechanical tension in the muscles. Number two, it's creating metabolic stress. And number three, it's creating some level of muscle damage. What are these three things? Here we go. Number one, mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is the amount of force generation activity that happens at your muscles. This is very, very high when you lift weights and you do resistance training, and it's very, very concentrated in the local areas that you are exercising. And so for you to add more muscle, you have to create high amounts of force, aka stress these muscles, for a certain amount of volume, aka sets and repetitions, to create a stimulus in the body that tells itself, hey, I better add some more muscle to this system. Otherwise, next time I do this, I might not make it. So number two, metabolic stress. Metabolic stress refers to the byproduct of exercise metabolism in your muscles. So every time you lift weights, your body has to use energy in order to create contractions in the muscles. And in conjunction to that, by muscles contracting, there's releases of certain other chemicals and molecules that signal your body to increase the amount of protein synthesis, i.e. the process that's going to build muscle inside those muscle cells. Things like lactate, calcium, potassium, all these things that happen when you lift weights and do resistance training, they signal your body to create more protein, aka muscle, and that is why we want to often be working sometimes in the 5 to 15 to 25 to 30 rep range, because it seems like those rep ranges optimize the amount of metabolic stress going on the muscles, which is a powerful signaler for muscle growth. Number three, and this one's a little bit contested right now, but it seems like there's some strong validity for it, which is muscle damage. Now, we're not talking about excessive strains in the muscle. We're talking about small little tears and damage to different parts of the muscle cell. There are a whole bunch of different little proteins involved in muscular contraction. You might have heard of things called Z lines and I lines and all that kind of stuff. What there is to say is that there is a matrix, a overlapping of all these different structures made out of different proteins inside the muscle, and when these proteins get disrupted, the structure gets disrupted, your body has to go in and repair the structure so it's stronger next time. You can think about it kind of like a house foundation. If there was a little bit of an earthquake and the house foundation was starting to break or crumble a little bit, you have to come in and add more cement and essentially reinforce that foundation so it's stronger than it was before. Well, it's the same thing in your body, except we're using different amino acids and molecules and different proteins in order to do that. So these are the big three things that your body needs to experience in order to improve and increase the amount of muscle on its body. You need to have the right amount of volume with the right amount of resistance and the right amount of sets and repetitions that's going to end up creating the right stimulus so that there's some kind of muscle damage, so there's enough mechanical tension and there's some metabolic stress in your muscles after your exercise session, so that when you go home and you recover and you eat the right foods and you get the right amount of sleep, your body adds more protein. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how your body grows muscle in under 5 minutes.